We are. I will be right back. I've forgotten a couple of props. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm not at home. How'd you guess? So I'm not even sure. I might be a minute or two early. We'll go ahead and begin. Hi, I'm aLex. I'm streaming this morning, Sunday, September 11th, from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. A few days of time at the beach, near the beach. Last week, as I sometimes do have, I had some technical difficulties with sound. I think the recording was super hard to hear, but it was a good meeting we had. I had hoped to do noise canceling on my AirPods this morning, but I'm not sure how to do it on my phone. So I hope the ambient sounds will not be too much. Rock is here and he might bark at the passersby or something else, so there will be that possible distraction to right on cue. So here we are, receiving gracefully, warmly receiving. Rock, zip it. Come, zip it. See if you need to bark. So settle into your spot. We will settle. I'll weave my theme, warm and graceful receiving, into our practice today. I'm guessing it's just going to be about 20 minutes, but time is a weird thing for me. So make sure you have all you need to be comfortable. Temperature control, if you can control it, or something to drape over yourself or peel off. Things to sit on, like the cushion I just pulled from the love seat behind me to put underneath me. And settle. Find what supports you right here. Just about always we can find something, hopefully enough, that supports us. I keep thinking, and of course this could be true in any time, I keep thinking, comparing my cushy situation with dire situations around the planet where you might be in a war situation, or really something threatening to your survival. At that point, I don't know that you're taking the time to look for what supports you. You're just beelining for it in any way possible. Although training, taking the time like we are now, taking the time to sort of envision and practice like first responders do, or training for getting assaulted, how to respond if you're assaulted. Um, those things I'm imagining can be really helpful. So we're in a sort of training here in our time together to find what supports us, the ground, but also our own body. Our own body in this gravitational field is supporting this being. So find that through your senses, through your ability to listen in. And when I say listen, I really mean the synesthesia of all the senses. And prefer, sort of navigate so that you're moving towards stillness. And I'm sitting upright, and for reasons that I'll talk about maybe next week or the following week, and maybe a little bit today, the uprightness has a benefit. And if you can do it without support of leaning back into pillows or something, even better. Now, there's nothing wrong if you need the support behind you. There's no problem with that. Or if you choose to be lying down instead of sitting. There is a difference, however, in the quality of receptivity. And tenors are usually upright for a reason. By the way, thank you for joining me. Wherever you are, whenever you join me. So as we're sensing what supports us and settling into our seat, can you sense that your attention, because we're purposely drawing it in here to our the source of our attention. So there may be a centeredness that is happening for you more and more, which may very easily get distracted by the bamboo chimes near me, the dog barking, or something in your environment, including your own thoughts. And so let's take this centering and segue it into about a 8-minute sitting. Right here. Just notice what is coming to you right here. For me, the wind, with a little bit of coolness. Dog next to my left knee. A pleasing carpet underneath me. Pleasing to the touch and to the eye. And while our mind may be busy in many ways, and our perceptual ability may be bringing in sensory information, felt sense that is like a combination of both emotional, psychological, and physical feelings, notice the field of just pure receptivity. That empty, empty emptiness. Almost as if we could rest into that. In many traditions, the precision of the posture is given much import. And I agree with this in many ways, but to approach it lightly and with forgiveness or exceptions. There's an anchoring that happens through that um, tending to the posture, and the stillness that aligns with that pure, empty receptivity. But just as we are alive, it's not a harsh control. Allow a freedom of breath. Bringing buoyancy and perhaps joy, warmth, as well as the mystery, the very mystery of our life. And as this ever increasing familiarity with this vast receptivity, emptiness, ever growing, and we become ever more conscious of it, like a cleaner and cleaner windshield. We notice more specifically what it is that splats here, both in the most obvious, gross ways, and then in the more subtle, hidden splats that we weren't as conscious of, or we were, but sometimes in a refracted way that isn't actually what its true nature is, its true message, its true energy. And oftentimes, often once we've practiced being this, being aligning with or claiming our this warm, gracious, wise receptivity. It is never not here. Sometimes or often, what lands here, and we just allow it to rest here a little bit with our kind-hearted. So maybe it lands in this empty receptivity, and when we bring it to it, the warmth of our heart and wisdom of our minds, light, with a generous dose of time. Often it unravels on its own, or it shares, or releases, or unveils itself. So ending the meditation, we bow to signify that, and for other reasons you can sense for yourself, not uh, to include just this recognition of our collaboration, our connection. And we need not shift out of this state too quickly, as we'll just segue to a little movement, a little micro movements. The sense in the body as if you have three spheres in the torso: the sphere of the heart, the sphere of the upper belly, just below the lower ribs and just above the navel, and the lower belly, where I call the golden ball resides. If you like, you can have a hand on that lower golden ball, even a hand on the back at the sacrum, and just let that lower golden ball roll ever so gently forward and back. You might even mostly imagine this, or all imagine it. Even if you do that, there will probably be some tiny bit of movement going on with it. It's good. That's good. It would be good confirmation that the nervous system is working well. If so, sort of like when the doctor taps on a foot or a knee, or where there should be a reflex. Back and forth, I'm breathing and still sensing ground available, support here. And then shift your hand or attention, both, to the upper belly, lower ribs. I'm going to place my fingertips on the side, lower ribs. And let this ball, and you might just imagine this, because this could be challenging. This includes the flexibility of the spine, and just allow, and ribs and organs in here. Allow this ball to move a little, rolling a little forward, a little back. And you may, of course, be concurrently noticing any responses coming from the peanut gallery in your mind, the commentator that's always there, available in any case. And there's good use of that. We have a practice for using that toward our wholeness, toward our healing. So one of the comments that might be happening as we attend to that sphere is, doesn't move quite as much as the other one. What's wrong with me? And then the heart one. And imagine that just the heart. Now, if the others move as well, or the one of the throat or the head that we're not working with today, but they're nearby, they're certainly connected and um, affected contributors. But if we just find how the sphere of the heart can sort of bow forward and tilt back, easy, smooth motion. And then let that go and just find your neutral posture, or upright, but not rigid, not stuck, vibrant, alive. And just notice, just receive now again. Receive into that vast emptiness that is prior to us, that we can align with. It's so essential to our balanced completeness. I'll just say a few words and you can stay where you are. Perhaps you're in a sweet place of ease. I'm going to stretch out one of my legs. Or perhaps you just need to shift a little, as I did. I forecast last week that I would be working with, play a little with that harmonic convergence was my topic. And anyway, I forgot that I would be at the beach this special day of this remembering 9/11. Um, so I didn't bring my stones with me. So, but what came to me was, as I've been trying to balance several years of intense doing, intense vigilance of caring for family, I've been trying to bring more balance into my life to recover greater health, peace of mind, and I've been finding it challenging, to be honest, to sit still, to be just to align with this receptive nature of ourselves. And I didn't bring very much with me to do, no projects, no, I mean, there's lots I could find on my phone, but when I have no books, no magazines um, that I planned, and in part, this is by design, in part by just ran out of time and packing. Um, so I've been sitting on the beach doing nothing, just doing nothing. Sometimes getting up to walk or put my feet in the water. The water's been really rough here, so I haven't actually gone in past my hips yet. Um, and I sit and just watch the movements of my mind and my eyes and my ears. And I'm reminded of how important this time of simply receiving is vital to restoring health. If you're feeling out of balance or out of balance in any way, that we just need time with a lot of nothing. The nothing could include a little bit of something like our micro movement, or perhaps some focusing practice where we're noticing the labels that we're giving, what we are sensing, but also just that time of sitting still, sitting upright as we have here today, allows that balance of supported steadiness, comfort, and alertness, and a little bit of alertness, a little different alertness than would be for our nervous system than would be if we're lying down or lying on our side or leaning back into something or lying on our stomach. All those are good. All those can have alertness and certainly lots of receptivity. You've often maybe seen the reclining Buddha, and he's kind of propped up on his arm, and there's an alertness there that's different than just lying on your side, say with your head cradled. So all these factors affect how what how the receptivity is. So receptivity on its own, I think, is just empty, just pure emptiness. That's prior to any movement, any nature, any manifestation. But what we bring, we can bring different qualities to it. And what I'm suggesting is the more we can daily, like our toothbrushing or nourishing with food, daily bring this upright, seated, whether it's for a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever we can do on a regular basis, it will nourish us in a particular way, that uprightness. And the qualities that I put in the title, the gracious, and I think it was warm, graceful, I put graceful, warm, something like that, gracious, warm. I'd like to put that word wise in there somehow, the quality of mind. These are things we bring to it. And I'm not sure of the mystery. This is something I'm still working on. Why, how those direct us, help to direct us in our balance. But we'll explore that more together sometime soon. So we'll have to look forward to the harmonic convergence practice, and a little more will come in our weeks to come together about the uprightness. And then now I'll have to note down this exploration that my teacher Russell, from his Zen background and focusing on Feldenkrais together from their embodied life school, he and Linda, they he speaks often of the qualities of the warmth of heart and the light of mind. And I'm still digesting that, so I'll bring you more of that as I digest it. And one more thing I want to remind you of before I go, so this will be almost a half hour after all. I want to remind you of the story that you know of um, the scholar who's coming to see the Zen master. He's got apparently he's got some question, probably, or he's got some wisdom he's seeking. And so he comes to meet the master and sits down in the master's office. And the Zen master, is pouring him tea, pouring his cup of tea. And I'm sure you know this story. He just keeps pouring, and the cup is flowing over. And this is before they've even said very much of anything. And the scholar is sort of like, hey, stop pouring. The cup is full. The cup is overflowing. It's making a mess. And the master says, you're coming too full. Empty your cup a little more so that you can hear, you can be receptive to what's going to come of this meeting. So thank you. Ciao, ciao. Join me again whenever you can. We're here on the YouTube, and please check sunandmoonstudio.com for our offerings of this rich community. And let me just show you that Rock was really good, and he was here. He just had a little activity in the beginning. We got lucky with not too many passersby. Ciao, ciao. See you next time.